So I want to start off this conversation with a question. And let me know if you felt like you be in a similar situation and on a similar position. You're in class and it always seems that the top students are getting great grades consistently. The thing is, it looks like they are putting less effort to getting those grades than you do, and it's coming like way easier than it is for you. There's a lot more friction and stress and effort involved for you to get just a fraction of the grades that they get, and they do this on a consistent basis. And it kind of feels like they know stuff about study. They got like some cheat codes saying going on that they know that we don't know. And that's the premise of this entire podcast episode. Today I want to dive into some of the, I call them 3 secret strategies that the top students use that we all should be using, right? And even if they're not aware that they're using them, the best students, the top students are using these strategies, unless you like is some savant or outlier, or you just like hella special and you just like is a academic wizard, excluding those people. I really was on this path to figure out what top students do for a really long time. It's been like 4 or 5 years to that. I was enamored in like, what are they doing that I'm not doing? Like there has to be something, because I work in just as hard, so we can't just be playing the effort. And I stumbled upon a book that I feel it really like summarizes or like encapsulates the best habits, principles, strategies that these students are using, are just successful people in general that most of us are not doing. So that's what we're covering on this episode of the Student Struggle Podcast, held by WebLearn. What are those strategies? What are those habits that those, especially 3 strategies or habits that the top students use or more successful people are using that we could use? So for each habit, I'm going to say what the habit is, give my own bad example of doing the opposite, and then show instances or ways in which we could implement the good habit, right? So habit number 1 is that of being proactive, right? Proactive is the ability to look down the road, see what the issues are going to be, and like plan accordingly, and not just like let things happen to you. But your boy Jared was not always like this. How to put it? So I can give you a couple of examples. The foremost example is, if I study, I can just say, well, I can try and study. I don't put my phone away. I don't make the environment more conducive. So when the study session is over, I'm like, wait, well, I was sitting here for an hour. I only do like 15 minutes of work. Why is that? Well, back away brain. Well, you spend like 15 minutes on YouTube, and you was scrolling on Instagram for like 30 minutes, and then you was checking your WhatsApp messages and texting your best friend for another 15. So I don't know if that math add up, by the way, but but it kind of showed that instead of me looking down the road and saying, well, if I do not remove these distractions from my environment, I am not going to be as productive. I was just like, hey, let me just try it. And I just like did it aimlessly. So what I realized, what I do improperly, a lot of other students and maybe yourself do, is like a lot of aimless studying. It is not structured. You don't make sure you set aside distractions. Some days I went into study sessions not even knowing what I was going to study. And that is such a big waste of your time, because if you would just take the 10, 15, 20 minutes to prep what you wanted to do and actually remove the distractions, you're going to be in a lot better position. For a lot of my subjects, especially when I was in junior school, when I did not get a good grade, I blamed it on the teacher, how the teacher taught the topic. If a topic did not come on the promotion exam, I blamed the teacher because he or she did not tell me what were all the topics coming on an exam. And that is not the teacher's role. But I was just deflecting because in my heart, I knew I didn't do enough work to get the grades that I really wanted. But it was just so much easier to put the blame on someone else and give someone else the power, right? It was just a way to shift the blame or accountability onto somebody else so I could feel good in the moment and not have to accept that the reason I got these bad grades was actually because of myself and my own actions, right? And lastly, I used to do this a lot. I am dyslexic, and I do not do this as much anymore. I do it in jokes, actually. So like if I misspell a word, I blame it on dyslexia. But when I was a lot younger, and I mean a lot younger, I used it as an excuse. So like I got a question wrong in English, or I got like I did poor on a spelling test, even though like I didn't revise or learn how to spell the words properly in the first place. I resulted to saying, oh, I have dyslexia. That is reason why. And all these 3 situations, these 3 stories show that is a couple. Because being reactive means that you blame others for your choices. It means that you react to situations mainly based off emotion, right? So a lot of persons who are reactive instead of proactive make statements like these. It's just the way, for example, like, I'm born this way, like, I can't be smart, I'm not intelligent, I just don't. There's nothing I can do, or he or she just ruined my day, and that's why I'm having a bad day, or as I said before, my teacher unfaired me. We all been there. We all blame others and make excuses. How could we actually be proactive, look down the road, see what the obstacles and the challenges are going to be, and properly prepare ourselves and put the onus on us rather than other people? Well, control the controllables, right? Focus on the things you can control. You cannot control if your teacher tells you all the exams, all the topics on the exam that is going to come. In your heart, we all know the things that we need to do to change that are going to 2x, 3x, 10x our productivity and our time and our success, be academic or otherwise. So we just got to kind of like do those things. There are things that we can control. We can control our own behavior, our own thoughts, our own actions. We cannot control the actions, behaviors, and thoughts of other people. So yeah, you may have a sucky teacher, right? But it's still your education, it's still your grades. Like, your teacher went to school and graduated school and has a job. You know, starting on that path. So it's being like, well, even if the other person is to blame, you still got to deal with the situation. So like, suck it up and like, get to work. But also, I can tell you another thing that is really big on being proactive. When you do decide to structure this time, again, be it to be studying, to do practicals, past papers, whatever the case is, to just to be productive as being a student, whatever that entails at the stage you're at, there's going to be a need to set boundaries. So for example, my friends are going to ask me to hang out at a certain time, and I got to prepare myself to say no. I know that my favorite show is at X time. So my favorite show is Tuesdays, and I have to watch it from 7 to 9. I should probably then revise from a section of time that is not 7 to 9 so that I do not get the urge to stop studying to go watch my favorite TV show. And it's that easy. So control the controllables and set boundaries so that you do not waffle on the commitments that you need to make. Be proactive. Look down the road, see what the challenges are going to be, and prepare a course of action. And this is something that we would have definitely discussed in previous trainings in the free course, 21 Days Stress-Free Scholar, that you should definitely go check out, is in the description. Habit number 2. Begin with the end in mind. And I can say that again for emphasis. Begin with the end in mind. Whatever you're starting, have a specific outcome, a destination, how you want to get there, how you want to feel along the way getting there, who you want to be there, what emotions you want to feel along the journey. Get as specific as possible. And I can tell you why. When I was in secondary school, and it's interesting we keep going back to secondary school, in 4th or 5th form is where you make the third form. The 3rd, 4th, and 5th is when you make the decisions for your major exams called CXCs, and is when you do the most work to prepare for those exams. At that point in school was just for me to get good grades and to get a job I wanted. I didn't get more specific than that. I didn't say what grades I wanted in each subject or what subjects I knew I needed to pay more attention in because that was going to relate to the job I wanted to. And when they said that I wanted like funds, money, it wasn't like me like being like overly materialistic, but I never even knew like for me what is enough. Like, so and essentially what happened is, looking back, to some degree, the subjects I picked is just because my friends were doing it. The grades I thought were good grades is just by me comparing myself to other people. So instead of me going on a course that I actually wanted, by me not beginning with the end in mind, I just went where the majority went, where the crowd went, or what I was expected to do because of like what society expected of me. So at that time I was studying to be an engineer. Yeah, I like math and all that sort of jazz, but like at a point it wasn't as fun anymore, and I was just doing it because my friends was doing it. Then I became an accountant because it was like, oh, I good at accounts. But I never thought about having to sit down in the office all day behind the screen and doing the same processes month after month after month after month. So it's like, you're going to save yourself a lot of pain, suffering, if you begin with the end in mind. Because where you invest your energy, where is way more important than how much. And it's funny, I heard this quote recently where a dude said, we kind of overhype, or we overestimate the importance of hard work. It's more important based on like what you were doing. I genuinely think being a gas attendant and being a hot sun are like, is a hard job. No. So it's not about necessarily working hard, it's about where you go. And the same is true when we're talking about beginning with the end in mind. Because you got to really think about what you want to achieve, right? Is this path you are going down worth the pain and struggle going down it? Because anything worthwhile is going to come with pain and sacrifice. Is this end goal worth the pain and sacrifice that you eventually need to endure? And to be honest, to go into engineering or accounts and become a certified accountant, looking at, no, it wasn't worth. But I never thought about that. I just went with whatever was like in style. You know what I mean? I was just like, chasing trains in school in a way. Get clear on what you want to achieve, and if the end goal you want is worth the pain and struggle. You also got to be honest. Kind of like take stock of where you are. So if you know where you want to end up, then you got to be honest with yourself. Where are you along that journey, and how much distance you got to cover to get where you need to go, right? So now you honest. So again, you clear where you want to go. You think about where you are along that path. Then you design how you can get from here, point A, to B, where you want to end up, where your end goals are. For example, if I want to have a good month, this is October, right? For me to have a good month, I must have 4 good weeks, right? For me to have a good week, I need to have a good day. And for me to have a good day, I should probably start my day off with a good morning. It doesn't always have to work like that. Why do I mention this? Instead of just going through the month at whatever come, you got school or you got work and you just do whatever. Get targeted, get specific. At the end of this month, I wanted to be able to be studying X 3 or 4 more times as often as I am. I want to be doing a little more for my health. I want to be getting in the gym a little more. And I want to like call my family and friends more often to foster those relationships, right? So what is a great thing to do if you want to have a great week? Probably plan it on Sunday. Plan out everything you want to do from the following Monday to the Saturday with as much detail you want. And that is beginning with the end of Monday because you're going forward with it with a plan. And the beautiful thing about plans is a bad plan is better than no plan at all. Again, bad plan, a plan that is sucky, that is trash, that makes no sense, is better than no plan at all. Because even if I had just in those instances in school taken a day to just really meditate on really what I wanted in life, what was I good at that other people were not good at? What did I like doing that other people kind of stressed and was like, oh my gosh, this is difficult. Like I would be in such a better position. Gratefully, I am like 22 going 23 and I still learned that lesson early instead of being in a career that I did like for 2 decades and then complaining when it's 40 that this career is trash. So I still figure it out like early enough. Good. So you think about what you want to do next week, put pen to paper, buddy. Get a schedule. Google Calendar, section it out. I'm doing this at this time, I'm doing this at that time. This is what I'm going to stick to. I, Jared Thompson, will do X, Y, and Z Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and stick to it. Fully commit, no half measures, right? Be honest with yourself. We're doing this for you. This is for you to have this comes when you have the necessary self-respect because you do what you say you're going to do. The reason why a lot of us have like low self-esteem or we are such big procrastinators or don't think we're going to do impressive things is because we have lied to ourselves on various occasions. What do I mean? We say we can do X or Y and we never do it. I can get up and I can exercise, or I can get up and I can study, or I can do these chores or whatever the case, and you don't do them. So when later in life, when you tell yourself, yeah, I can go and do this thing, every time you say you're going to do it and you don't, the probability of you doing it next time decreases. So some of us walk about knowing that we can't trust ourselves is only a 5 or 10% chance we can actually say what we're going to do. So please, beginning with the end in mind is a little beyond being proactive. So instead of looking down the road and seeing the obstacles and challenges you're going to have, you look down the road and see, well, is me getting here worth it for me sacrificing the limited energy and time that I know that I have in this life to get here? No, it's not. Is it worth it if I do this path? No. But this path, oh yeah, I can have fun, I can get what I want, it can be stressed, but I can enjoy it at the end, and they will have found it worthwhile. That is the power of beginning with the end in mind. You're not blown around by other people's opinions, but the opinions of friends, family, parents, society. You know where you want to be or where you want to go because it's for you. And again, this application is for students. So don't do a course because your friend's doing it, because your friends ain't gonna live your life after the fact. I beg you. Don't tell yourself you're not studying, you can with your friend because that's what they're valuing in the short term. That may not be your values, it might just be following the crowd. Beginning with the end in mind is doing what is best for you, looking down the path to see what is the best return on investment for you, not for others. The last habit or secret strategy, if they will, that top students are doing, that the rest of us are not. And the crazy thing is, aren't all of these like habits and strategies like very simple, coming across like stuff that we know that we should do, but we don't? It's crazy. It's so funny. Like you could be like hella foolish or like hella smart, and you come into the same conclusions. Like I'm talking about, look ahead and prepare and make plans. Like a 5-year-old will tell me that, or somebody in my position who was live life be like, yo, these are stuff that you need to do. Anyhow, putting habit number 3, strategy number 3 is to put first things first. Prioritization. So how did your boy Jared used to be poor at prioritization? Well, I feel like I talk about TD so much on this podcast, but anyhow. So we were doing TD a time, and we had like a pretty intense like group project. I think it was probably mechanical. So this is like very in-depth gears and stuff. And we was either doing like some sort of high-techy lawnmower or something. Yeah, we were doing like a lawnmower where it cuts grass like at different levels. We thought we were so smart. The disrespect to my group, but we was like, it could cut like short grass, medium grass, and like tall grass. Like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. It was like revolutionary. And we were going to use like the same systems used in like a bicycle to go from like the different gears. Anyhow, sorry. So initially doing the assignment, I got like really excited. Like motivation was high. I'm like, yo, this is gonna be so cool. We can like rush. We can get through this so easy. Halfway through was like, child boy, this is like beer stress. And because it was beer stress, I was like, I feel like doing this no more. So like I was doing like other assignments from other classes and subjects that I found to be a lot easier. So I just continually put off this assignment that was like 20, 30, 40% of our grade to the last minute, didn't do it to the ability that we still got like a decent grade, but we could have done a lot better, right? Or I think another way in which I showed like poor prioritization, I was not putting first things first, is when I would always decide to engage in recreation before I did the work I know I needed to do. So instead of coming home and doing quote unquote the important and urgent things, like chores that I had to do, homework or studying or revision or reading ahead from my classes, I will always go and like just watch some basketball or get hang with the fellas or gonna take games. And it always led to me saying, I can just, do those important things after, and I never did. I use this illustration all the time. If stones are the important thing and sand is recreation, if you put any sand first in the container, you can't fit any stones after the fact. No matter how much you push and how much you struggle, you're not going to squish in them stones into that sand. However, if you put in these stones first, which are the important things, prioritizing the important things, the urgent and important things, then pour the sand, which is the recreation, the stuff you really want to do after the fact, you can fit. You can get enough time to do the recreation you want. You can enjoy the recreation more because you're almost looking forward to it as a reward for doing the important things, aka studying and, past papers and revision. When I talk to the men who are getting the best grades in the class, you might just go home, do the work, and then chillax. Men don't ever go home, do every single thing they want to do, get distracted, and then like when it's 10 o'clock, gonna like rush half an hour work. It's not, no. Because when you do it first, energy is high, you get the most important thing out the way, and then you could go and enjoy recreation guilt-free. When you don't put the first things first, even though you engage in recreation and having fun, you feel kind of guilty. You're like, child, boy, everybody should be doing that assignment. Anyhow. and then you're not able to fully enjoy the recreation in the first place. Let me go watch this TV series. In between the commercial breaks, yo, I really should be doing work. And then feeling bad about yourself. Like, no, but if you actually do it first, engage in recreation after, you're a lot better. Your state of mind is better, you know? No anxiety, no depression. Well, I'm not saying this is a career, but get me, right? So, how do we do that? Well, just when you say you're going to go do something right away, just do it. Act on it first. Even if it's for 5-10 minutes, go do that immediately. Time blocking, allocate specific time to do these things in certain chunks, which should not be overly excessive. So like, don't schedule yourself to be doing work for like 3 hours straight. Do half hour for a 5-minute session. Just take a 5-minute break. Find persons to do it with you or hold you accountable. Again, it's saying all these things that we all know, right? Get a schedule. Like, oh my gosh, like, do hold yourself to a routine. So you come home, one time, do the things you know supposed to do, or take a little nap so you got more energy, then do the things you're supposed to do. Get to it. Eliminate time wasters. Let's talk about designing your environment. So like, again, those of you who are listening to me on the audio platforms cannot see this, but I'm going to describe it as best as possible, or you could just look at it in the actual video. Behind me is a computer desk facing a wall. When I need to do work, I put that computer on that desk over there and face that wall because there are less things in my field of view to distract me. So then I get work done. When I face this direction, I am more likely to get distracted because, there's more stuff here, but it's because I record this podcast episode that I'm so focused. But please, you know the things that usually distract you. So gonna tell mom or dad, yo, I studying for the next 2 hours. Don't call me. They're gonna respect that, hopefully, if you have understanding parents. I really hope. I really hope. Put your phone in airplane mode. Matter of fact, put the phone in another room. Listen, throw the phone on top of your roof if you got to. That's what part of this thing is, all right? And create an environment that is worth studying. Make it comfortable. Make it someplace you want to be. Spruce it up in a way, man. Design it, decor it. Have it be welcoming. You know? Don't make it be bland, like plain porridge with no sugar and no cinnamon and no bay leaf. What? So yeah. And on a continual basis, be it daily or weekly, review what the accomplishments you've made or the progress you're making, and then make the necessary adjustments. All of us have to tweak the processes and systems that we already have in place to make them more optimized and make them more efficient. The author of the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, is Dr. Stephen R. Covey. And this is so brilliant, and I needed to share it with you. He says, putting first things first means organizing and executing around your most important priorities. It is living and being driven by the principles you value most, not by agendas or forces surrounding you. A lot of us, and I mean a lot of us, the vast majority, are swayed by the agendas and forces surrounding us. Just because something is our environment doesn't mean that we have to let it influence it. We can even remove ourselves from the environment entirely and section ourselves away from continuing in that negative course of action. You more than likely are going to get a teacher that you do not vibe with. Okay? Right? There are going to be topics in the subject, the overall subject or course that you decided to take. There are going to be subtopics inside of that course you do not like and that you hate viscerally and they disgust you, but you still have to learn them. You are going to be stressed out, right? You more than likely are going to be bordering like on some mental breakdown sometimes. There's going to be times where you need to prioritize your health. You're going to be, if you're a part-time student, you got balance work and school. What are you going to do in those moments? Don't wait till you are in a situation to have a plan of attack. Look down the road, see what the challenges are going to be, and act accordingly. Good. Be proactive. Sorry, I sound like I'm preaching, but I say this because, like, I have been here, and, like, I wish I knew this earlier. And the reason why, deciding where you want to go instead of just going around walking, if we're here in, like, Barbados, right? And I want to get to, let's say, Florida, the United States, right? And instead of going west, northwest, I decide to go east. It's not just about the time you put into something. By just going east, that is like probably, it can take me like, 16 hours to get to America instead of like 3 or 4. So you need to get settled on where you're going and how you're going to get there before you take a step, because where you invest your time is more important than just investing your time any and everywhere, right? Where you want to go, where you want to end up, because all roads is stress, sufferation, and pain. Pick the one that when you get this stress, sufferation, and pain, be it the subjects that you want to do, or the job you want to get eventually, or like the industry you want to go into, or like who you associate around, whatever the case is. Because it's stress either way you go. So start with the end in mind. And again, I said put first thing first. Please do not do the thing that is number 10 put into do list first. We all know the most important things we have to do them, get them out the way, because you're going to have a lot better time when you decide to relax and chill. So these are the 3 secret strategies or habits that top students use, successful people use, that we are not using. And it's so simple. And when I thought I cracked this code and it was like, oh, this big, like, oh my gosh, like when I thought in thinking about what I was going to learn, like figuring out what these people do that we don't, I was like, oh, it can be something so complex and complicated and like highfalutin and like these men put a different plane of existence. No. These persons are doing these simple things over and over and over and over way more times than we do. And it's funny, we think that extraordinary people are just different to us. They just do the ordinary things extra, like way more times than all of us. Like when you look at high performers, they're doing basic stuff over and over and over and over again till they can't get it wrong. And that's what we need to do. These simple things. So use these 3 habits, use these 3 strategies, and I'm telling you, you could be in a way better position than when you did hear this podcast. If you need to rewatch or re-listen, go do so now. Don't procrastinate it, and take down what you think was important. There's something in what I said that hopefully just like stood out to you and was like, oh my gosh, yeah, that is the things you need to take away from this. I'm glad that you have listened to this point. I'm grateful to hear you, see you, watch me, whatever the case is. We have other episodes that you could enjoy to this point. Thank you for spending your time with me. And without a doubt, I hope that you have taken away something that you think can benefit you and you're going to be in a better position. So no, next semester, next class, when these top students flexing and be like, geez, I want to get these good grades and it looks so easy, that you're going to be a part of that crew too. You're going to be included in that group of people. And there's no longer going to be a barrier between where they are and where you are. You could be in a way better place. But don't forget to check out our free course, the 21 Day Stress-Free Scholar, and our Study Shuffle newsletter. Yeah. So, peace.